Hey, what's up, everybody? God bless y'all. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. God is good. And just another one of these days, I decided to make a video, and I will continue these type of videos. It's just my thoughts. Now, I don't know if you're anybody out there um, that work in like the educational system, like schools and stuff like that, who deal with purchasing school supplies, right? I say that to say this. If I was to go buy, let's say, a pen, just something stupid as a pen, right? In any given store, it might cost me, I don't know, just maybe a pack of pens, $2. I'm just going to say $2. But if you order the very same pens through the school system and wherever they tell you you're supposed to use to purchase these pens, it will almost guarantee that them pens is going to be 10 times as much money. Meaning that packet of pens for the same quantity of pens is going to be $10. Probably more than that compared to if you just bought it into a regular store. And I'm telling you, when people start talking about the educational system and how the money and where it's going and stuff like that, when I say government wasteful spending, and I know at some point the Trump administration, Elon Musk, and all of them is going to probably figure this part out too, which I already know. How much they overspend for the things that government supposedly need. I guarantee you it goes on in the school system, and I guarantee you it goes on in the military, and I guarantee you it goes on in a lot of different departments that government are running. And I'm explaining to y'all why it's so expensive as opposed to just going to a regular store. Because there's always a middle person that we don't seem to see that's dealing with the transition from getting it from here to them. And usually it's somebody that lobbied for that contract to supply it, who's getting paid ridiculous profits for product that you should not have to pay that much money for. I guarantee you this. And I hope that the Trump administration at some point dig a little further into this, because this is what happens. And this is what Trump means by wasteful spending. When the government gets someone to do something, it's ridiculously money that we spend to have it done. And a lot of times it doesn't even get finished. And they just keep funneling money to it because it's not their money. It's the taxpayers' money, so they don't care how they spend it, because they ain't the real ones really actually getting out here busting their behind and working for it. So they don't care how far the money go, because they think there's an endless pool of money that these politicians can continue to waste and waste and waste, and there's no accountability. That's why we ended up with a $36 trillion deficit, because we keep voting for incompetent people and expecting competent results. And that's the truth of the matter. There's no reason why we should be in $36 trillion of debt. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what there's no reason for it. And no matter how people feel about it, this is the reason why you got to cut the fat. You got to get it out of there. Because we're splitting the bill. Every person that gets up work every day and paying taxes, this is where it's going. And then you don't question why it's so expensive. Why? Because everybody's making money off of the taxpayers and nobody's caring how we feel about it. They're more right now in the Democratic Party again, going back to, oh, people are going to lose their jobs. Nobody cares about the taxpayers. And this is the reason why the vast majority of everyday hardworking citizens voted for Trump. I don't know why y'all seem to not get this concept. This is why we voted for Trump. Because far too long, these politicians have ignored the everyday working class people, and Trump decided to pay them some attention and realized that they were the ones being hit the hardest. And I guess at some point he sympathized. Now, some people are going to say, oh, he's a billionaire, he can't sympathize. It doesn't matter. He's doing it. Right now, he's in office and he's doing it. He's doing the very thing that's going to by far more benefit the everyday hardworking citizen than anybody else. And then he's trying to produce and put America back on the map as the most productive, strongest, well running country in the world by bringing back the industries back to America, which we should have anyway. This country been sold out a long time ago. The only thing we starting to offer people is services that don't produce anything. And the more you keep going in that direction, the more you are at the mercy of everybody else. If I had to go to everybody else for my food and they decide they don't want to feed me no more, that's it. It's game over. I'll starve to death. If I had to go to everybody else to build a house and I wanted to build a house and I can't get it right here at home and they decide they don't want to sell it to me, it's game over. And we've been going in that direction, and I just don't seem to understand why no one can get that concept in their head that you can't be at the mercy of all these countries. That's exactly why Trump is going in the direction that he's going, is because he does not want us to be at the total mercy of another country. And even if that means he has to raise tariffs and say, you want it, you're going to have to do it right here in America, to bring it back to America, to make sure that American citizens will have plenty of jobs, good paying jobs, right here at home, and we're producing and the things that we need at home, and we can, some of it go abroad, but some of it stays at home, and therefore we're not at the total mercy of every country. I do not get why nobody can't seem to understand that. I understand it well. I understand it well. It's just like being a kid in your home, and you got parents that are not producing anything. Like they're not getting up, they're not going to work, they're not doing nothing. And you're at the mercy of what they do. And as a kid, you can't wait till you get old enough or big enough or old well enough to be able to go do it on your own, because you're no longer at the mercy of what they produce. Now you have the right and you have the ability and the opportunity to produce it yourself. Why? Because you see that maybe your parents aren't doing it the way on the scale that you possibly could do it on. And then you go out there and you produce more, you do more, and you accomplish more. And you say, well, if for say my parents was the ones actually doing more and trying to do more, then I could possibly have been in a better situation. But at that point, it's not their responsibility. You grow, it's your responsibility. Can't worry about what they did. But that is my point. Regardless of whatever, if your parents are raising you, you're at the mercy of whatever they produce. It's the same thing in here in the United States of America. If we're at the mercy of what everybody else is producing, that means that if they decide they don't want to sell it or make it, whatever it is, we're at that mercy. And this is the part that when I hear people say, oh, he's going to tariffs and prices are going to go up. Listen, if prices go up, they go up. I'm sorry. I don't want to pay high prices and nothing like that, but I also don't want to be at the mercy of all these countries. The other thing is there's a way to control the pricing too, because we have a self-correcting system. Meaning that if everybody goes to Walmart and there's no other business out here, guess what? Walmart's going to have the control over that price. But if someone else comes up with a business and get the same purchasing power that Walmart has, or competitive purchasing power that Walmart has, and then they find a cheaper way to do it, then now you can ask people, because people are just going to go shop where they think is cheaper. Where they can get the very same product for cheaper. And then Walmart will be forced to lower their prices. That's why we have a competitive market. It should not be one company doing everything and everybody's at their mercy. That's why we don't allow people to monopolize. Because when you allow them to monopolize, they have full control over how the prices go. And that's where government's supposed to come in and say, no, we're not going to let you have that much power. Because if you got power and total control over this, it's game over for everybody else. That's what the government's supposed to do, but they wasn't doing that. They were just allowing them to have all of this power over this power because these people were lobbying for what they want. See, the thing is, Trump can't be bought by them, like Biden was, and the rest of these politicians. They can't buy Trump. They can't get Trump to do their bidding for them because he's not interested in what they want. His whole goal is to make life better for everyday, hardworking American citizens. And the steps that he's been taking clearly says that. And my point to this is that, do you think billionaires are concerned about illegal immigration? And this is where the Democrats, I check them on all the time. You think that the billionaires in America, do you think they care whether illegals are over here or not? This don't affect them. Zero do it affects billionaires as it relates to illegal immigrations, as it relates to the crime and stuff like that. How it benefits billionaires is that cheap labor. So if Trump was going to look out for his crony billionaires, why would he get rid of cheap labor that could be beneficial to them? You see my point? So when I hear the idiocy come out of people's mouth, they don't know what they're talking about. I just say, whatever. I just let them go ahead and say what they can say. That tells me that he's not so much interested in billionaires. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he had beef with billionaires, but if billionaires wanted cheap labor, then they would allow illegals to come in and work for cheap labor. That's what the Democrats were doing. They were the ones looking out for their cronies. Trump said, no, we're not going to have it. He's shipping them up out of here. Why? So that they get out of so that if you want to hire somebody in America, you better make sure it's illegal citizens right here in America. Rather they came over here through the system the right way, or rather they was actually born here as a citizen of America. Not these illegals that's coming across the border so you can pay them under the table and make a ton of money, which is what the billionaires are going to do because the Democratic Party was promoting that. But, we don't know what we're talking about. We don't see it. So that's not beneficial by one, and in no way, shape, or form is that beneficial to the billionaires. It doesn't affect them none. But it's beneficial if you allow them to continue to come over here. And then they will undercut the jobs that American citizens supposed to have. And my thing is this: if you have a good wage and a good salary, prices don't bother you that much because you can afford it. Now, how he also widens the gap of what you can afford by working to drive down the cost of living. The cost of energy, which affects everything. By trying not to tax your tips, which gives you more money. Try not to tax your overtime. Try not to tax all this other stuff. Social Security, which puts more money in American, everyday, hardworking citizens and the ones that actually retired. And it doesn't matter what happens with tariffs at that point. It doesn't matter with all of that. And then deregulation so that companies can lower their prices and give you even more of a break. I see exactly what he's doing. And if it all plays out the way he's doing it, it's going to be financially great for vast majority of America. But the other side of it is going to keep on that hate and keep on spewing their lies and keep on doing it because they think that American citizens are that dumb. Well, I'm not. I see exactly what they're doing. I see exactly how he's moving, and I see exactly what the Democrats are doing. And for those that want to keep on, whatever, ride it. And for me personally, I've been positioning myself for everything that Trump is doing. And I don't have a lot of money. But I have taken a little bit of money that I have, and I invest it according to how I see this country and the direction that it's going. And I think overall, for everyday working citizens, and guess what? The rich, they're going to still benefit because they're the ones that own all the businesses. They're still going to benefit, but not at the mercy of destroying the working class citizens. Now they're going to still benefit, but a different way. Now, the everyday working class citizen, as he execute these things, will be able to decide for themselves and not government deciding what happens with your money. Now, you get to decide more so what happens to your money. Why? Because you get to keep by far more of it than what you've been able to keep since this last administration been in office. But we're going to see how all this plays out. So far, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. And these are just my thoughts for today. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. Make sure everybody's staying safe. And like anything else in this world, make sure Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Because without him, we're all nothing. His love, his peace, by far exceed anything this world has to offer. And with that said, y'all have a blessed day. Peace!